from Mexico. And the most common one known by most people, even a layman who doesn't really know about gangs, is from El Salvador, which is MS-13.
Yes.
Which is a gang that is already in this country. It's already here. However, if you read up on the open border and what's going on down there, they have caught many of MS-13 members trying to get into the country. They've caught some of them, but they haven't caught all of them. So that only tells me that there's going to be more in the country. And now what happens is...
How do you know they haven't caught all of them?
I mean, all of them. There's been over 1 million people.
No, you say they've caught some of them, but not all of them. How do you know they haven't caught all of them?
They haven't caught, because I'm a cop, and you can't catch everyone. We go to a house party, there's 30 kids drinking. We might catch 2 of them.
Yeah, but these aren't
they're running out the door.
These aren't kids drinking.
You think people trying to come to this country who are criminals, hardcore criminals, that they're going to get caught by a couple of goofy Barney Fife cops?
You're speculating. You're speculating.
Well, I am. They've probably caught a good percentage of them, but you got 3,000 or 4,000 that slipped through out of a million. You got a shithole, especially if you live in the Texas area, like New Jersey, New York, California, places like that where these gangs are very active. So what you're going to have is, even though there's already gang issues, you're going to have gangs fighting for turf. And what happens when gangs fight for turf? Whether it be drug turf or the sex trade or whatever it may be. We should call BB up and see if she was see if her pimp was an MS-13. You got her number still?
I don't still have her number. I wrote it down on my hand that I vowed never to wash it, and then I did.
Yeah, so, I mean, and this gang, like I said earlier, if gang members shoot other gang members, no one cares. The average citizen does not care if 800 gang members from Chicago get killed. No one cares. I don't care. When they start to care is when the gang members start going into the nice neighborhoods, they start hanging out at the malls, and they start messing with all the innocent people from middle America who have no clue how to deal with these people. Now, for an example, Dave.
Yes, for example.
I got 2 examples.
All
University of Chicago.
Yep.
They had some student groups there were very vocal in defunding the police. Defunding the University of Chicago Police Department.
Okay.
And want to know what happened in the University of Chicago in the last year? 3 of their students got murdered. Right? Off campus, on campus. You want to know why? Because gang members infiltrated. They know where the students walk. They know where the students live. And if you don't have police officers at least monitoring where students live on and off campus, then kids from the streets, easy prey.
Yeah.
Easy prey. So they killed 3 of them.
It's like
murdered 3 of them.
It's like it's like Billy Jack.
Oh yeah.
It's like Billy Jack. 1970s revenge film Billy Jack.
And another one, and I'll end my prediction with this one. You had 2, and you had one in Philadelphia, and you had one in the suburbs of Chicago. 2 representatives, state reps, lady and her husband outside of Chicago, driving in like a nice Mercedes. 3 or 4 gangbangers in this neighborhood see their car. They rob the Mercedes. They're not going to rob you a piece of shit Honda, Dave. They want your Mercedes, which you don't have.
Honestly,
which you don't have.
That's my defense. That's my security.
You're never going to get robbed for a Honda. More likely than not. An old, 2008 Honda CR-V or whatever the hell it is. Yeah, so they robbed them at gunpoint. There was shots fired. No one was injured, but they took the car. Philadelphia, a couple of state reps walking out of a meeting, a couple of gangbangers, same thing. Robbed them, took their car. See, you start defunding the police. You start letting bad people come into the country unaccounted for. Crime's going to go up, and they're going to victimize easy targets. And easy targets are middle America. Difficult targets are other people in their neighborhood, other gang members, other criminals.
Yeah.
All right? Those are difficult targets. Me and you, Dave, more so you than me, you're an easy target, brother.
What do you mean I'm an easy target?
You might be able to tell a few jokes, and they'll laugh and they'll like you.
They'll laugh. They'll
but
like
they look.
me.
You're in your 60s.
Yeah.
You're an older man in your 60s, probably alone, walking out of a club and after a gig. And if you're in a bad neighborhood, a rough part of town, they're going to look at you and they say, "Oh, he looks like he might be an easy target."
They're going to look at me. They're going to be like, "He looks like an easy target." Then they're going to say, "How much money do you think he's got on him?"
It's probably nothing.
Yeah, we'll skip him.
So that's it's very simple. We went over that, I think, in probably right around week 13 or 14 when we talked about personal safety, active shooter. They look for easy targets.
Right.
So this is where it's going. It's unfortunate. Crime is going up. Violent crime is on the rise. And
for 6 months, and then the pendulum swings.
We hope.
Trust me on that one. I like that. I like that I don't like it. But I think
I don't like any of this, but it's reality.
Right. You don't even like Oprah getting busted for shoplifting?
I think that's funny as hell.
Yeah.
I think maybe Joe Biden's going to be on Depends in a couple of more months.
I love the fact
he's shitting himself in the White House.
I think these are, oh man. Into the politics we go. Anyway.
All right, Dave, you can wrap it up.
Oh, good. I actually have two because I've actually thought this through and I've come up with another one.
All right.
But here's one of them. Major in-house reforms start, interdepartment reforms start. We've talked about them. We think they're going to start in major cities across the country. New York City with Eric Adams, right?
Yep.
That's the new mayor.
Former police captain.
He just named another a new police chief, and I think female,
yep.
Right? But I don't think that's the important part. It seems like, and I could be wrong, but I listen to this guy. I think to myself, here's a guy who's going to maybe help turn around that department and implement the reforms, because this is after 2 years of nonsense. All right, we get back to the original problem of bad cops.
Yep.
Why and what to do about them. And we've talked about the pilot programs to where cops can intervene with other cops.
Yeah, they teach cops how to kind of intervene with a cop who might be kind of going a little bit left, being a little heavy-handed out in the street, using tactics that are old school tactics.
His adrenaline has gotten, his or her adrenaline has taken a hold, and it's somebody to come in with a cooler head to prevail.
Because it happens. It absolutely happens.
And also to weed out the bad cops. So I think we're going to see major reforms. I think we're going to see departments. I'm going to say we're going to see departments embrace these, including the police unions. I think with the police, I think there are going to be a couple of places where you're going to see where the police unions, either out of practicality or out of actual better communication and better trust between the unions and their bosses. I think we're going to see some really interesting reforms going into 2023. But I think we're going to see them start in 2022. So I think in smaller communities where violent crime rates and murders and all sorts of crazy stuff like that aren't really happening, I think that's an easy fix. I think it is an easy fix.
But you're talking about being in Chicago, St. Louis, Baltimore, Los Angeles, where cops are getting shot at, they're fighting, they're getting beat up, they're getting all sorts of stuff is happening. Those cops you become very hardened. You become a hardcore cop.
Right.
And it's almost a survival instinct to be the way they are.
Would you call Minnesota, Minneapolis?
I wouldn't call it that that's what kind of started this whole shit show that we're going on right now. But I can see cops like that. And any cop that I know, when that happened, were like, look what these guys did. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Just arrest the guy, put him in the cruiser and screw.
Right.
When you're out in the street as a cop and there's 20, 30 people watching and they're filming, if you can safely get that guy in a cruiser, cuff him up, zip tie his legs, call 3 or 4 more guys. He was a big guy. 3 or 4 or 5 guys, put him in a patio wagon, get him out of there. They just made it 100 times worse. The whole country went to shit, and cops everywhere in America took the brunt of what those guys did. And the guys, some were even killed over it.
And obviously the guy lost his life. Yeah. All the shit that followed. Anyway, I see the reforms.
I agree with reforms.
I think that percentage of cops that become alcoholics, that become abusive in their personal relationships, that all the problems that follow cops. I think that hopefully reform starts this year, and it's better for them, It is better for their
I
families.
agree with it so much. That's why I retired, because I knew I was never going to be reformed. I was so stuck in my
you
ways
can't
of
be.
doing whatever the hell I want to
You
do.
couldn't be reformed.
I was never heavy-handed. I just tell you, if you call on the phone, you give me shit, I'll just tell you to fuck off. It's the worst thing I ever did.
All right, I'm going to give you, here's our 11th prediction. This is mine, and you ready for, here's our final one for 2021 as we go into 2022. Here's what I've got. Retired police officer moves to Florida, rejoins the force, cracks a major cold case, and in related news, we learn where Elvis is living and that he's still alive in the Everglades. And that's our final prediction for 2021. What do you think of that one, Dale?
I think that's a possibility, Dave. I love Florida. I have a whole bunch of guys that I work with in the Marine Corps that are cops and were cops in Florida. I can see that happening. Yeah. I don't think I'd uncover a cold case like that, but
I have faith.
I could probably get Oprah shoplifted somewhere in Key West.
All right, those are our predictions for 2022. And again, best of luck to Frankie Bravo in his recovery. Much success in 2022. I'm Dave Rattigan. This is Dale Lawrence. This has been Inside the Thin Blue Line. Thank you for listening.